at least the first 3 holes are in nothing but clay. Rare areas here that have 0 rocks. Unfortunately, not all holes are that easy, and I'm gonna have to dig through some more rock to get those done. I've got a little camera up here, Trailcam, cheap one from China. It's not great, but it gives me an idea of what predator pressure we have here during the night behind the chicken coop. And then I've shown you this, but we have the electric fence set up here. So this is a nice high-powered one. It's the Nemtec Agri 30. Can't remember, I think it's 4 or 5 joules. That label, I'm lying, it says 3 joules, but still, this one throws a nice arc and it's programmable, so I can set it to be up to 14 kV at night. Using the charge controller here with the panel on the roof here. It's starting to drizzle now. And the fence is now electrified. And the reason I've got this here is because the roof is kind of convenient. We do want to electrify this for testing with keeping 1 or 2 bucks around, and we do want to electrify the bottom of the chicken coop around in case mongoose or anything like that, genet or so, or whatever, giraffes, mountain lions, whatever, want to dig in there. And we can easily then extend or just jumper from there, from the outside. We can jumper out and extend it to fences there. So from here we can just jump, and then eventually end up with the trees there in the back to protect them as well from the grazing goats. And we've been waiting for rain forever. This isn't really rain, there's only 1 or 2 millimeters projected again, but we want to see what happens when the big ones come down and our trenches start capturing water, capturing here and flowing down towards our new dam here, which is going to need some work on the spillway, and it's going to need some sealing. Definitely not sealing yet, but anyway, just enjoying the drizzle now. It's not even enough to make me wet now, so let's hope for more. Lucy is out there. She's not really trained for herding, but they do act a little bit like guardians for the goats. They show us where the goats are. At any given moment we can look at the collies and they'll know where the goats are, and they are very good at keeping them together. So if there's any strays, they will definitely keep them together. They will sometimes chase them back to the kraal. Sometimes they'll do that before we want them to. But natural instinct without training, these dogs are pretty amazing. And now I just want to go see where the goats are. See, Trapper is pointing out there, so we know they're here. Lucy is up there staring in, and Trapper is here, so they are in this triangle here. The reason I'm bringing you along while I'm going to check out the goats is so that you can see what a rainless winter has done to us. There is a diminishing veld here. The Vachellia succulents are starting to turn yellow, going dormant. No new grasses. These are previous season grasses that's left. I hope they seed it and that the seeds will remain viable until the big rains. These things look happy, but I can't remember their name now. It's the ones that Hein asked me about the other day from going Galt, and I've got the name again. Okay, we've moved pretty far west now, so I'm just gonna use this overlook here to see. We have our northern perimeter close by. I don't know if it's visible to you, but it's visible to me. And actually don't see the goats between us and the perimeter, so they must be in the, yes, okay, I see them in the little gorge there. So I think they're good. Not going to disturb their feeding pattern now. But as you can see, the veld's not looking so great. It's concerning, everyone's concerned. A lot of farmers around that have stopped selling their feed and just keeping it for themselves. A lot of farms opted not to harvest their barley and oats, sometimes even lucerne, and just let the animals graze on it to survive. And with one of my primary strategies or income streams are the goats, I need to rely a lot more on the land, on the farm, to provide the food they need, without mining it out and harvesting and not putting back. So we want to use these goats to regenerate, but for that we need a good seeding and good seasons. So all we can do now is and this is why I'm here, is walking around with them, is to make sure that they're always in different areas. We do have a lot of space here, and to outside eyes it might seem like a huge farm, but when there's no rain and there's no food, only a handful of animals can be moved around here. And we've been wanting to scale up to 20 new production does, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe we'll do 10 once the fencing is done, and then see what the seasons do. I don't know if this is climate change, but we didn't get any rain this winter, and probably 300 to 500 millimeters behind. No flowers. Usually this time of the year it would be flowers, so we can only hope. So I don't know if the wind is causing problems with the recording now, but I'm just gonna go head back and see if I can start working on a shelter for the goats, so that we can get these two bucks into something decent. So where they are now is just fragile. Really hope this audio is good. I just put the audio recorder, the sound recorder, down in an ant nest, so I had to clean out the dead cat. And maybe I can use the opportunity while we're walking to respond to, actually I did respond to Steve on Patreon. Thanks Steve for always bringing up the pertinent questions and raising the issues. And he was mentioning the new tractors in the previous video and the type of rippers that we need to use. I think it's a very good idea to have local engineering works. It'll be more cost effective to construct a single tine ripper. And he mentioned that with the power and so on that we need to get through these rocks, and you can see, but I'm not even entertaining the idea of ripping these rocks with a lightweight tractor. This thing is 16 or so kilowatts. So what we are going to do, and what I realistically want to do, is areas like back there that I showed you where there's clay, we have several areas like that, and without doing too much damage to the veld. We'll try to do the same circle thing we did before and rip clay only areas as deep as possible. We'll try to rip them only once, maybe once every many years, and then do some regenerative planting on there and recycle the goat manure back into it. And we like to sow or plant things that are food and feed at the same time. Corn, mealies, we can grab a few fruit, animals can grab a few fruit, leaves are there for them, residue, same with pumpkins, all these things. Of course we need to think about how we're going to irrigate and keep them moist, so grasses like teff is great, but requires water to set up, so unless we get a good rain season, sowing that in is difficult. It's already a bit late to put in teff. It's starting to get quite hot. It's going to be tough, put pressure on the germination setup there. So alternatively, or an alternative side plan on the side is to run a fodder setup. Neighbor is already doing that quite successfully. He's scaling up as we speak, and he's managing to feed his animals off a fodder setup using very little water. I'm at the northern perimeter here and the deep gorge. As you can see, just a few meters from where I'm standing, there's about a 15-meter drop off, and then as we go more west it gets deeper. Those gum trees there are easily 25-30 meter gum trees, and some geese are in the area as well. And in any case, I digress. That is what we're going to do to rip and plant and to produce feed, to make sure we can continue. Don't just give up, and don't just start mining the land and mining the water out of the ground. Do it responsibly, because a future for us, in parallel to a future for the ecosystem here. So if the ecosystem survives, we survive. And who wants to live in a wasteland in any case? Oh yes, another question from the Patreon comments that I forgot to answer on Patreon is what are we doing with the old circles? Those things that we used to call the poor man's pivots. If you haven't seen them, I'll try to remember to put a link here to that video. Is big cultivated circles with a single impact sprayer in the middle, and we used to sow these up with very random polyculture mixes. And hey Lucy, what's with the speed? And they worked very well. We have good memories of harvesting so much food from there, carrots and pumpkins and brassicas of all varieties. And yes, pretty much a good question. What happened to them? They are there. I have been trying to see with the one what will happen if I do nothing, and the other one we kind of distributed some natural local seeds, and that one is already starting to rehabilitate. And remember, those things, that was an eroded area that we started with from the beginning, so having them rehabilitated now into the soil that we built up there is actually already a gain. It's a bonus. So I might do that with the second circle as well. Recover and rehabilitate. They're a bit far to maintain, but if we really run out of space, run out of food, and run out of good areas to sow, then we will use them again. Oh, look at this, getting new leaves and new pods now, so it's always a good thing to have these Karroo acacias. Make sure. Actually, it's not acacia anymore, we're not allowed to be called that. But these specific ones are indigenous to here, which is why we can't call them that. They are nitrogen fixing trees. They are sources of fuel, wood. They are very good food for the veld goats. They don't mind the thorns. They can use their sharper noses to get deeper in there. And it's a nice looking tree, I think. Look at them thrive in the driest of zones. Lucy, where's the bokke? Snake season is hectic. Keep an eye out for those puffies. She's worried about the one buck. She didn't see him return, and now she thinks he's missing. Lucy, it's okay. Lucy, it's okay. Come, puppy. Yeah, I see he's back in the kraal there. So she was just misinformed. Poor girl. It's okay, Luba. It's okay, Luce. It's okay, the bokkies are back. Bokkies are back. These rocks are not even slippery. Boy, do I miss the days where I was slipping and falling all over the place because the rocks were wet and full of moss. Look how yellow the milk bush is. Come, let's go home. Come, let's go home.